21st century parents, we need to have a talk. The Logan Paul controversy is a wake-up call. The idea that our kids can swipe their finger and watch a prankster on YouTube showing a dead body of someone who committed suicide and then joking about it is mind-boggling. Something went completely insane and out of balance with the young generation, their role models, access to technology, and how we're dealing with all of that. How did he get the idea that filming a dead body would be okay to do? Did he just kind of lose his sense of judgment for a while as he was filming, editing, uploading the material? Are we talking about some extreme incident that happened here? Or does this represent a bigger phenomenon or a bigger trend that's taking place? Logan Paul, like typical Americans his age, grew up in a media culture that is saturated with violence and gore. By the time he was 18, he had watched 200,000 acts of violence, 16,000 of which are murders. The children programming that he saw also contained up to 20 acts of violence per hour. Now, if you want to tell me that has little to no influence on a developing mind, on someone who's shaping their worldview and their behavior, what's right or wrong and what's okay to do and what's not okay to do, then I think you're daydreaming. So this Logan generation has grown to become much less affected by blood, violence, gore, and death. And now they are becoming the role models for today's kids. These aren't fictional characters in a Hollywood movie. They're real people doing real stuff, not necessarily educational stuff, enriching things, usually dumb things, in the real world. And get this, that video with the dead body in it got 600,000 likes before the backlash began. Parents, we gotta look at the bigger picture here. If we continue down this road, we're going to be growing up human beings that are numb to blood and death and violence, that show little respect to human life, that are driven mostly by the instant gratification of their ego, and basically that's it. Parents, it's time to act. Short-term action. Demand social media platforms to toughen up the regulations to make sure that users cannot upload inappropriate content. It can be done. It comes down to resources. That being said, there's going to be no escape from completely reinventing and overhauling our education system and all its methods. Understand your kids' world. They are glued to their screens for 8 to 11 hours a day. They get easily bored and they quickly move on to the next thing with a swipe of a finger. And here's the big one. They relate more to the global and the virtual than they relate to the local and the physical. They are essentially the first global virtual generation that's growing up. Education cannot be about knowledge anymore. We've passed that stage. Your kids can use Wikipedia much better than they can get answers from their teacher at school. Education needs to focus on building the human being, and that means building a value system within the person and a social environment around the person so we can balance the human ego and direct it to good. We actually have to find exciting ways for them to experience positive and meaningful human connections, to positively express themselves in a world that is becoming hyper-connected and interdependent, where everyone can have a say, in a media that's open to everyone. They could be working together with people across the globe. They need to see how to realize their potential, to understand their role in the world. They could be doing so much good and enjoy the process. But for any of that to happen, parents must get on board. To be blunt, we gotta educate ourselves first.